Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one, Andre.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Oh my God!
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold two, on bar.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Dummy.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three, Lamas covered. Three-handle family Gradunzel.
Mamma mia!
And now, Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, Greg Unchained.
It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
Number 4, armbar.
I will never retire!
I still got 200 more. I got 200 more holes to list.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the B Plus Podcast. I am your host, Greg Unchained. Today is Saturday. You know what that means. It's time for the view from the WWE universe. Joining me, of course, is CJ. How are you, CJ?
I'm good, Matty. How's yourself?
Yeah, I am good. I understand you've been having some internet dramas tonight.
Oh, way too many. I've ended up having to stream 205 and NXT off my mobile data, so that's always fun.
That's always fun. I've had a similar thing happen to me before and not even realized it was happening. So that's, the things we do. The things we do for the sport we love.
That's exactly
Can we call it a sport? We call it a sport, right?
I call it a sport. Yeah, I'm the same.
It's the closest thing I get to a sport. so I kind of have to so that I can claim my man card at the end of the day. You know?
Just go to your sports cave in quotations to watch the wrestling. That's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's jump straight into it. We'll start with 205 Live. For those who don't know, this is the show where we break down all of what happened on TV. We talk about the news in a different episode, but let's talk about the shows. 205 Live this week. There was only 2 matches.
Yep.
Nice and light week. I guess the show started with the usual Drake Maverick opening and stuff, which we're all fans of here at the B+.
Yes.
And then we get TJP coming out with a promo. I really liked his little, we're going to finish this match quickly and then I'm going to celebrate in the greatest city in the world. And of course, they're in New York, so the crowd think he's talking about New York. And then he just turns immediately. He's like, after I fly home to Los Angeles, California.
That was such a good move. I was so proud of that.
It's so basic, but you know what? When it comes to heel work, like I've said it before, I'll say it again. I love cheap heat.
Yep.
A good cheap pop's always fun as well. Mick Foley was the master. Edge and Christian were the masters of the cheap heat, and they're some of my favorites of all time. So
yeah, of course, as they are for just about anyone. Yeah,
well, they are legends for a reason. So moving on, we get Noam Dar versus TJP, and this is their third match. This is the rubber match. They each have a win over the other. Noam Dar gets the win quite handily, I'd say, too. It wasn't really... I mean, it was a bit of a competitive match, but it wasn't...
It wasn't over-the-top competitive?
Yeah, at no point did you feel like Noam Dar was in any real jeopardy.
Yeah. Which they did well. I think having that babyface going over with this one, as they do for most rubber matches, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought their second match was better.
That seems to be a thing for 205 Live. The second matches are always better.
Not always. I mean, when you had the Mustafa Ali and Buddy Murphy trilogy, their third match was great. Buddy Murphy is someone who's really good at amping up the intensity in each of the matches. So his series with, like I said, his series with Ali, his matches with Alexander, they get better and better every time. So I'm really interested to see how the Lucha House Party angle goes. But We'll get there. I do have something I want to talk about here, and that is Wale on guest commentary. How did you feel about Wale?
To be honest, okay, I'm not a huge fan of that hip hop rap stuff. So as soon as they announced that Wally was going to be guest commentator, I was expecting that it was going to be like the voice actor of Wally, and I was excited.
It's Wale. It's not Wally.
Well, that's how I got it. I was like, "Who's Wally?"
It's not Wale. All right. You are so white right now. No, Wale. Okay, I'm a big fan of Wale. You don't listen to much rap at all.
No.
Okay, because he released a really cool mixtape. He's done a couple of them, but the first one was the best. A mixtape about nothing.
Okay, then.
Which, as you can tell from the title, is a riff on Seinfeld, right?
Yep.
And so he's like rapping over themes from the Seinfeld music and like remixing it. It's just yeah. It's brilliant, and he raps about nothing, and it's just a really, really good mixtape. One of the best mixtapes I've ever gotten. But I'm a fan of Wale, and I'm a fan of his fandom. I know he's a huge fan of wrestling, and I love that he's a huge fan of wrestling. It's one of the things that attracts me to Wale. You know, when people are unashamed wrestling fans, I find that very attractive because it's not an easy thing to be. Is an unashamed wrestling fan.
Oh, that's exactly right.
So someone like Wale or Max Landis, right, who are in other fields and they excel in their fields, but they wear it on their sleeve that they're huge wrestling fans. I'm a huge fan of a person who does that. So I'm instantly a fan of Wale. Bro, I'm very sorry, but you sucked on commentary, dude. As a fan of the product, you should know your job as a commentator is to put the product over. You're just talking about your album, talking about Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. It detracted from the match. It was distracting. It made it harder to watch the match. I was very, very upset with Wale. And I had to say all that other stuff to preface it because I am a big fan, but it was terrible.
Yeah. He plugged like Nicki Minaj, 3 times, Cardi B twice. And I was just kind of like, okay, so does this mean we're going to see Nicki Minaj next week? Like, is this where this is going? Like, I couldn't understand him, and then he kept
putting over his angle that he did with the Usos and the New Day when he hosted the rap battle, and it's like, okay, what about the match that's happening right now?
No, that's exactly right. Hakuna Matata, mate. Stop living in the past. Focus on what's going on now with TJP. I'm so annoyed.
I liked that. No, I liked that. That was fun for me. How he kept saying the wrong names. So he'd be like BJT or PTJ and like just all over the place.
At one stage it was like, I think it was like 2TBW or something like that. I was like, it was funny the first 10 times, but then near the end of it, I'm like, okay, you're still going.
You can't hate that, but be a fan of Nigel McGuinness calling them Loser House Party, right?
That was good. That's fun.
It's the same thing. That was the one thing that he did that I liked. He put over the fact that he and TJP don't like each other. But I have no idea what he was doing there. I don't know why he was at ringside. Well, I do know why he was there. He's there because he's affiliated with MLW, right? MLW being an independent promotion that are getting a lot of buzz at the moment around their TV show Fusion, which you can watch on YouTube, and I highly recommend it. I unfortunately don't get to it as often as I would like to, but it's really good. It has Brian Pillman. He made his debut recently on there. And, you see Pentagon and stuff. Low Key is the champion. There's a lot of really good guys in MLW. Tom Lawler, former MMA guy. He's getting a lot of buzz in MLW. But I digress. He's affiliated with MLW. And
okay,
he has always wanted to work with WWE, and I think WWE saw an easy way to get someone who has a name and take them away from MLW.
I don't think it's much of a way of taking them away from MLW. It could be a way of trying to open that door to say, hey, let's work together. I know WWE is not like that for a lot of things, but potentially they could with some NXT house shows and stuff, just steal a couple of people.
I think it's more likely that they want to sort of minimize celebrity involvement with MLW.
Probably.
I'm being a cynic here, and I try not to be, but it just seems like, because there was no other purpose. They didn't have an angle for him, unless the TJP thing is going to go somewhere. If TJP comes out next week and says, I only lost because Wale was at ringside, and in that case, I can possibly get behind what happened. But it was just, he was so distracting and he was not doing a good job at all.
No.
I'm very upset about it. Yeah. So that's my rant for 205 over. Let's move on. We had the recap for what happened at SummerSlam, and then Drew Gulak talks about being better prepared and having a better strategy, and Cedric Alexander just got lucky. To be honest, he has a point.
Okay, I'll be honest here, I didn't see the kickoff, so I didn't actually get to see their match. I actually should have watched it, but I haven't yet.
Yeah, well, it was a roll-up victory. So...
Okay, so the heel is complaining about getting pinned by a heel move.
Well, a desperation move. It wasn't a heel move. It wasn't like a dirty roll-up or anything. It was, baby faces. The underdog face gets a roll-up win all the time. You saw Kairi Sane do it against Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
Right? At the takeover, and it worked. It worked less in this because Cedric Alexander's not really an underdog to Drew Gulak.
Yeah, true.
But it's like I said, I didn't think that the match at SummerSlam was the best match they could have. And I think they know that too. And I think the 205 crew all know that this match would have been better if it was on our TV show. And we want to give them the chance to actually do that match.
Yeah.
So they're sort of, instead of just throwing a random rematch like you'll get on SmackDown or Raw, they're actually building a story around it, and they're saying, look, you got lucky, you didn't beat me, you were lucky. That's all it was. Because I think when it comes to SummerSlam, I don't know, but I assume that the main roster agents, the main roster bookers and stuff, I assume they're the ones picking the finishes.
I'd say so.
Because generally the way it works is they're like, okay, you've got this long, this is your finish, you work out the rest, right?
Yeah.
So they were given a roll-up finish, and the match suffered as a result. And now they're trying to do some damage control, which 205 Live are doing a really good job at. Because then Drake Maverick is asked his response, and he gets told, you don't get given championship opportunities on this brand, you earn them.
Which I really like how they're actually keeping that as well. Not many brands you see these days are like, oh, you have to earn it, you have to earn it. Oh, half the time it's just, oh no, here's a championship match, here, pin Carmella, you'll get a match.
I'm going to pin Carmella. I'd love to see Drew Gulak come out with that as well. R-Truth is the man. But no, we see it on Raw as well. I mean, yes, Finn Balor was entitled to that match that he got, but you're talking a year ago on that, you know? It's kind of weird that it's just, oh, let's do it now because reasons.
Yeah.
But 205 Live doesn't shy away from saying explicitly, we are not that. And I love it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's what makes 205 one of the better shows.
In my opinion, yeah. So then Akira Tozawa comes out on his way to the ring for a match against good old jobber superstar Colin Delaney.
Delaney's back. It's no Sean Maluda.
I have been told, by the way, that I should stop calling them jobbers because they are enhancement talents.
Okay.
Fuck that, they're jobbers. Alright, so he gets...
that reaction.
Akira Tozawa gets jumped from behind by the better 205 Live crew, like all of them, and they just beat the crap out of him and clear the ring. They beat up Colin Delaney as well, obviously, make quick work of him, throw him outside the ring. Drew Gulak says he tried to be reasonable.
Okay.
What a word I'd use to describe Drew Gulak.
No. Not at all.
And demands that he gets his championship rematch or he's not going to leave the ring.
Yeah, I didn't understand that at all. Like, why would you want to demand a match when you're in a suit? You know Baron Corbin. Come on, dude. That's what I'm getting from that. He was coming out, he was like, I'm not leaving until I get my rematch. You could see that Cedric Alexander, as he comes out, he's like, alright, I'll give you a rematch. Just let them fight.
Right. Look, okay, if you want to talk about fashion, just quickly, if you want to talk about fashion, right, because he was in a suit, it was a nice suit.
It was a good suit.
Cedric Alexander came out looking like generic Sim number 5. With that oversized blazer.
Yes.
You know when you make a Sim on The Sims?
Yep.
I'm getting nerdy here. I'm revealing my nerdy. But when you make a Sim on The Sims and they just come with the generic, if you pick just the generic African-American based Sim, it would have been Cedric Alexander
pretty
on
much
205 Live this week.
I wonder if they make places small enough for him.
Well, I mean, there are smaller dudes. He's not a small dude. He just looks small because he's in the ring with other people. But no, I digress. He comes out, though, and then Drew Gulak runs away. Like, so he essentially, Drake Maverick comes out with the referees, and they're like, no, this isn't happening. You get out of the ring. You go backstage. This is not how we do things on 205 Live, which, again, the consistency, and it's just beautiful booking.
Yeah.
But Cedric Alexander breaks away and gets into the ring, and then Drew Gulak powders out along with his cronies, Thing 1 and Thing 2.
Oh, yes. Green eggs and ham.
And he powders out, and, you see Brian Kendrick laughing. It was a mind game. That's all it was. He never wanted the match. He just wanted to show Cedric Alexander that, look, I pull your strings.
Yeah, which is very smart of Gulak. Like, I think if he applies that completely in a match, he'll take Alexander out.
Right. Well, the thing is, too, we know Cedric Alexander likes to defend his title. We know he prides himself on being a fighting champion. So by doing things like calling him the Brock Lesnar of 205 Live, by doing things like calling him out for a match and then leaving, which will enrage this man, right? Because he wants to fight, but this guy's running away. Why are you doing that? Cedric Alexander's going to go to Drake Maverick and say, I want a rematch.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly right.
And he's going to put his own title on the line like a damn buffoon, and he's going to lose it.
Yeah, I can see it happening. Give it maybe 3 weeks.
So I loved it. I gave it a standing O. I thought this was fantastic. And then we get the main event, 16 Reasons Why, and Lucha House Party. They tore the house down.
They did. I was looking forward to this Tornado match. I've always been a fan of the Tornado tag team match, and they proved to me why I'm a fan.
See, well, I'm a sucker for a match that starts slow and builds, and you don't get that with Tornado matches. It's chaotic from the beginning.
Yeah.
And so it takes me out a little, but they won me over, man. That double moonsault.
That was like picture perfect.
How hard it is for both of them to hit that rope at the same time, because that can be disastrous. If one of them hits that rope just a fraction of a second earlier, the other one's going to slip and die.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So just hitting the rope for the double Asai moonsault, and they did. They flipped. Their rotation was in unison. It was.
I wonder how many times.
It was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, it was. What went through my head though straight after was how many times at the Performance Center did you guys fall over? For a solid 5 minutes after that, I was like, wait, did one of you end up ass over head at that point? Was that supposed to happen? I don't know. I think it was just pure luck, to be honest, but they did well.
You gotta have. I don't think it was luck. It was absolute skill. You gotta have. They would have practiced so many times with the crash mats, and they have that one ring at the Performance Center that's entirely padded.
Yeah.
So that they can do moves like crazy moves from the top and try to figure it out. It's. Yeah, I'm sure that they would rehearse moves like that in the Performance Center, but it was impressive.
It was.
It was definitely impressive. And that wasn't the most impressive thing in the match either. There were a lot of really big spots. I mean, Metalik walking the rope.
Yeah, you haven't seen that done in a while?
Yeah, I've seen him do it before, but he from corner to corner. Let's not mince words. He went from one corner to another corner. It's like walking a tightrope.
It is. I don't know the last time I've seen someone go from corner to corner. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. So ultimately, we see Metalik get a sunset flip victory roll and win the match. I don't think this is the end at all.
Nah, no way. 16 Reasons Why are the heel guys in this. They'll just demolish Lucha House Party over the next couple of weeks and build to another match.
Yeah, well, I think this is the second chapter, right? They've had one other tag match. They've had a few singles matches, and they've had one other tag match. So I do think we're going to get a third chapter, and I think that we're going to see the heels go over this time.
I hope so.
I think they're going to build that up because I still think Cedric Alexander's going to hold the title. I want Drew Gulak to win it, but I'm not confident that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that was 205 Live. Overall, a really good show. 205 Live, it's starting to feel, especially after you sit through Raw or whatever, it's starting to feel too short almost.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that if you watch Raw and SmackDown and then immediately watch NXT or 205, I start to feel, 205 and NXT are starting to get a little bit slow.
Yeah, well, if you made them longer, it would probably kill it. I find the hour-long wrestling show to be perfect. I really enjoy it. It helps you build things long-term because you don't have to cram everything in.
Yeah.
And it's really fun. Now, NXT this week was better than normal for a post-takeover episode.
Yeah.
I thought, I said this last time, when they do the post-takeover episodes, it's just recap, and it pisses me off because you've got the NXT TakeOver is on the network, and NXT is on the network, so if someone's watching NXT, they have the network, they can just go back and watch the fucking TakeOver.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you there. It frustrates me when NXT do that recap over and over and over.
Yeah. This time around, though, I felt like it was a little bit better. It wasn't... the recap bits were shorter, and the promo bits were longer.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it was constant recaps. I think there was just bits and pieces over time.
Yeah, they balanced it well. So we got an opening match with Deonna Purrazzo making her NXT debut against Bianca Belair. Now, as a man who doesn't follow too much indies, what do you think of Deonna Purrazzo?
She did all right. I was really impressed with her in-ring ability, and I'm actually excited to see how she keeps going.
Right, so the match was a pretty basic match, but she definitely, in terms of fundamentals and just looking crisp in the ring, she's
clean.
She's there. Yeah, she's definitely up there. And she has more experience than Bianca Belair as well, to my knowledge. But they both looked like $1 million in this match. Deonna Purrazzo, I thought it would have been really nice to see her pick up the shock victory over the undefeated the undefeated EST of NXT. I think it would have been really cool for her career, for Deonna's career, to get that shock victory. But I understand why they didn't. They're not ready for Bianca Belair to lose that yet. Yeah. But Deonna still looked good in defeat. I thought it was a really strong debut, and Bianca Belair has been built up to a point now where, it makes sense for her to be winning this match anyway.
Yeah. I mean, from before she was injured to, I can see her future run. I can see her going toe-to-toe with Kairi Sane, maybe Shayna Baszler after going for that NXT title. Maybe not so much winning, but I can see her going toe-to-toe in those matches.
I'll tell you what, Shayna Baszler tonight on this episode, she has cemented herself as one of my favorites, but we'll get there. EC3 and Dream recap, followed by a promo from each guy.
Yep.
Dream is basically asked, what do you do? Dream is basically asked, what the win means for Dream, and he said, you can find out Wednesday night just like everyone else. And I'm like, hey, it's Wednesday night. He means next Wednesday, but
yeah, I was actually excited. I was like, "Oh, Dream's coming out." No, okay.
Yeah. That's what I thought. So I'm like, "Oh, he's going to cut a promo or something," but no.
I got to say though, I did like EC3's promo where he's like, "I'm not here for win after win after loss after win after loss."
Victory after victory after loss.
Victory. Yeah. Sorry, how could I get that wrong?
He said victory so much in this promo. I tried to count and I got bored because but he said victory a lot.
He did. For someone who hasn't had one, well, he has, but still.
Well, he had victories over the jobbers and stuff, but yeah, he hasn't had a high profile victory at all. And he pointed that out too, which was nice. He did go through it and he's like, I'm not here for that. And the top 1% mindset is win. And I'm gonna win. And I'm not going to stop until I do. That's what makes me top 1%.
Yeah.
I thought it was a nice little promo. And then random, they ask him about the Aleister Black attack.
Yeah. That's what I didn't understand is why did he have to point out Lars Sullivan of all people?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a future program there.
I think so too.
That's all it is. I think Lars Sullivan's going to come back and be like, keep my name out your mouth,
Yeah.
I can't see why else he would be throwing Lars Sullivan under the bus, unless it's him that did it. But I think it's going to be someone we're not expecting, like a Keith Lee or even Matt Riddle
or
like
Nikki Cross. Come on, they pointed her out.
Nikki Cross was on the roof. Let's fix that.
Who points that out to start with?
They enhanced the footage, which, by the way, that's not a thing. It's a thing that they do on, like, really bad detective shows, but it's not a real thing.
No.
But they enhanced the footage and they revealed that someone was watching from the rooftop, and they believe it to be the twisted sister of NXT, Nikki Cross. Okay, so she's watching from the roof. big fucking whoop. It's not like she could have gotten up there that quickly after attacking, unless this has all of a sudden become Lucha Underground and she has superpowers and she can run up fucking
Please
walls.
don't do that.
Like,
I didn't understand it at all. I'm like, okay, so does that mean that we're going to see like an interview segment of someone asking her what she saw? Or is she just going to like stand in the background and be like, I didn't see nothing. I didn't see nothing.
Yeah, I have no idea, but it was funny. that was the WTF moment of the week, I think. We do see a recap of Undisputed Era in Brooklyn, them retaining their tag team titles, but also Adam Cole losing his North American title.
Yes.
And then Ricochet starts talking about, 15 years of hard work has paid off. Adam Cole was hiding behind the championship, but now he can't hide. And then Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly come down the hallway trash talking. This has to be one of my favorite lines ever. Kyle O'Reilly is just gold all the time. Kyle O'Reilly constantly comes out with the gold. They're approaching him in the hall, and they're talking trash, and Kyle O'Reilly's like, yeah, not so tough now that it's 2-on-1, are you?
Yeah. I was kind of like, who is tough against 2-on-1? Like,
That's
really?
the point. That's the point. He's such a genius. He is a comedic genius because the line should be, oh, you're not so tough now when it's 2-on-2, right? When Pete Dunne shows up. That's the truth of the matter. But it was just so funny to see these guys that think they're cool, that think they're tough, just being like, oh yeah, not so tough now when it's 2-on-1. They're like, of course he's not. There's two of you. It was amazing. I loved it.
It was good. But I also like the fact that Pete Dunne also turned around to Ricochet and was like, you have what I want.
Yeah, so Pete Dunne walks up and asks them if they have a problem, and they back off immediately because they're absolute cowards. And then Ricochet's like, thanks, mate. And Dunne's like, I'm not your mate. Yeah, I just don't like those blokes either. And you have what I want. I thought that was really good. Yeah, Pete Dunne is just... Pete Dunne's my spirit animal. I really feel after this episode of NXT, Pete Dunne is my spirit animal.
Yeah?
I need to get a Bruiserweight shirt. Yeah, for sure. This guy's a legend. He's quickly skyrocketing to the... He's probably close to challenging Zack Sabre Jr. for my favorite wrestler currently working.
Ooh, that's a big one.
He's probably close. But moving on, we had another recap of Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. Yep. And here's another person who is definitely rising up my list of favorites. She cuts a promo. She's flanked, of course, by the four horsewomen, the real four horsewomen. Ronda Rousey, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir. And Kathy asks her about Kairi beating her, and Shayna makes it very clear that Kairi Sane did not beat her. She lost.
Yeah, it is a good way of putting it. It's a very smart way of putting it.
Yeah. And you know what? It takes personal responsibility, which is rare for a heel.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so fascinating to me, because this is a character with some damn nuance, right? And the nuance is coming quick. We saw last week she's talking to Aaliyah to help get an advantage in the match, right? So that was a new facet to the character. And then this, the personal responsibility. You expect her to say, the ref counted fast or something like that. That's what the heel says, right?
Yeah.
But no. She turns around and she says, Kairi Sane didn't beat me. I lost. I am the better fighter, but I lost, right? The implication being that she messed up. She made a mistake. She wasn't ready for the roll-up and she didn't kick out quick enough. It's on her. I lost.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is? Like, a heel saying, I lost. It impressed me so much because it didn't take any heat off her either. It kept her looking strong and angry. I'm really excited for where this goes.
Yeah, I was very happy with the fact that she was like, yep, I'll take blame. That's fine, but you wait. Yeah. I can see this not being the end of it. This is definitely going to be a good match for the next one.
I've said multiple times that Shayna Baszler cannot be a face. I'm wrong. I'm 100% wrong. Because if her character is what it looks like, where she is just a smart fighter.
Yeah.
Right? Where she will do what it takes to win, and she will brutalize opponents, and she will play mind games. But at the end of the day, she takes personal responsibility like this. When she falls, when she loses, she takes personal responsibility and says, look, I messed up. It's on me to get better, and I'm going to get better, and I'm going to come back stronger, and I'm going to win. I'm sorry, that's a baby face right there.
Yeah, I think
Even if she's going Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy on the girls before the matches, like she's still a babyface.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, I think from here we can see her not so much being a face, but I think being that in between, which I would like.
Character heel.
Yeah, which I'd like to see a lot more of.
I really enjoyed it. I think the nuance. I love a good nuanced character, you know, like and she's starting to layer on the nuance, and that's not something that's easy to do in wrestling. Wrestling is real easy to just go cartoony, simplified, you know, real easy. I mean, look at we talked about Sam Adonis, right? Who has a Trump supporter gimmick down in Mexico, you know, like could you get any lazier? Probably not.
No, probably not.
Being a Trump supporter in Mexico, but at the same time, Brian Cage did the same gimmick too, and Brian Cage is one of my favorites. But it's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, it's where wrestling can be really easy to go super cartoony and having nuance. I just love that there's nuance to these characters.
Yeah, definitely. Going from there, going into the main event of NXT, where we saw the UK Classic winner Zach Gibson go up against Pete Dunne for the United Kingdom Championship.
Yeah, and this match you would probably guess right up my alley.
Oh yeah.
So
how intense and violent that match was, that got me excited. So I was like,
just limb manipulation, man. Whenever a match focuses around limb manipulation, and that's why I'm such a fan of Zack Sabre Jr., and it's why Pete Dunne is rising through my ranks. It's why I like Shayna Baszler so much. You're seeing a pattern here, right? That limb manipulation style of wrestling is my jam. Yo, I love it. I love it so much. So I held shy of giving this one a B+ because there were a few things where I was like, okay, I was really unhappy because obviously these matches are shot immediately before TakeOver. And they did the same moonsault kick to the head spot. It wasn't the same. The Adam Cole Ricochet one was far prettier.
oh yeah.
But someone backstage wasn't talking to someone. Like, you can't be busting out a spot like that on the same night as the Adam Cole Ricochet one.
No, that's exactly right. It didn't flow. That moonsault super kick did not flow as well as Ricochet and Adam Cole's.
Yeah, it wasn't as pretty, definitely, but these aren't pretty dudes. Like, these dudes are in there to beat the crap out of each other. And it looked more brutal. It didn't look as well timed. It looked like, I need to kick this guy in the head quickly, you know? I liked it. It was a good spot, but I was just like, just me personally knowing that the live crowd saw that spot twice, I'm like, how, you know, that's going to affect the pop later in the night. Obviously it didn't, but it just bugged me on a certain level, which that and a couple of other things kind of held me back from giving this a B+, but it was a really, really good match and a really good show.
Yeah, and I think just with Dunn scoring another win here, it sort of makes him look like the Brock Lesnar or the Braun Strowman of the UK division. He just looks unstoppable at this point.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, when he eventually loses the strap, it's going to make an absolute star out of whoever beats him, and fingers crossed, Travis Banks. Come on, Travis Banks. But at the same time, it's just, I don't know how I'm going to feel about seeing Pete Dunne walk to the ring without that belt in his mouth, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm the same. Like, I didn't watch him on the indie circuit at all, so I've only ever really seen him with a championship in his mouth.
Yeah.
So it's going to look weird.
Well, my first exposure, I've said it before, and I say I just this morning recorded This Month in Brit Res with Akil, and that's going to come out next week. And, you know, I said it there too. My first exposure to much of the UK stuff was through the WWE UK, right? A lot of us are going to come to the UK stuff through the WWE UK. I mean, I knew of UK wrestling before that, obviously, but, you know, my first real exposure was through this tournament, and Pete Dunne is an absolute star. And it's going to be weird. It's going to be real weird to see him without that title, but I could see him being a world heavyweight champion on the main roster. I really could.
Yeah, I see he has that charisma. Speaking of...
He has a bright future.
He definitely does. Speaking of weird, though, let's move on to Monday Night Raw.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
It was just... to have the show open to a chorus of boos, like deafening boos, I have not seen that since Roman actually defeated The Undertaker.
I mean, yeah, well, look, when he beat The Undertaker, though, that was fantastic, that next night on Raw. That promo, this is my yard now, that's all he said. It was great. He did really good job there. This was less great.
It wasn't as good as that, but no, it was just kind of like, I haven't heard that much hate towards him since he beat The Undertaker.
Yeah, well, people don't want him in the spot that he's in. Well, people didn't want him in the spot that he was in at the beginning of Raw.
Yeah, true.
Let's reword that, because the spot he's in as we talk currently, I think people are going to open up to him. But that's a different conversation that we'll get there. Let's not run down the card top to bottom. Let's talk about the big stories like we do with the main roster.
Yep.
So let's get into it, yeah? So he comes out and he says, I'm going to be a fighting champion. And you know what? His tone changed. Did you pick up on that?
Oh, I noticed something, but I wasn't too sure what happened.
Right, but you felt like this was a slightly different Roman Reigns.
Yeah, definitely.
Me too, right? Which is what I've been asking for. So thank you, Roman. I really enjoyed Roman Reigns on this Monday Night Raw. And I've said it before, I like Roman Reigns, right? And it's the writing that we have a problem with. It's the booking that we have a problem with. It's not the guy at all. It's the character and the booking. That's all. And on this Raw, they seem to do it right. And I don't know if this has been the plan all along or I don't know. But his tone shifted, whereas before he was kind of cocky and arrogant, right? He's like this cocky, arrogant guy being like, I'm going to get my title back. I've been robbed. Yeah. He was kind of making excuses and also being cocky and arrogant. And it just didn't work. It was odd.
It wasn't who Roman's supposed to be.
Exactly. And now this time around, with the title on his shoulder, he's saying, you know, I'm going to be the champion that we deserve. I'm going to, fight. I'm going to defend. And his tone shifted. It wasn't being cocky and arrogant about it, about being the best and wanting to do that. It was more, I'm going to prove to you that I deserve to be here. Yeah. It was more just the tone. And that's not something that can happen by accident. That's something that he's doing purposefully. It was amazing. And I was all of a sudden like, what is this? I kind of like Roman Reigns right now. And he gives Finn Balor the shot, and then later in an interview with Renee Young, she's like, do you regret doing this? And he's like, no, absolutely not, right? Like, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to prove that this is my yard by winning and defending my yard. Yeah. And he felt genuine. Yeah. He felt genuine. That's the big thing.
Yeah, which we haven't had that sort of Roman Reigns in ages. I don't think we've had it at all, to be honest.
I don't know. He's saying the same things, but before he was saying it in such a cocky, arrogant way, and he didn't have the title.
Yeah,
and it was like, dude, what the shit are you talking about? But now he has the title, and he feels like he's being more humble. It's just weird, but it's good.
Yeah.
Until the end, so he has the match, and he has the match. Braun Strowman comes out, even though Braun Strowman said that, I'm not going to attack from behind, I'm not going to take advantage, I'm going to do this face-to-face like a man with the contract.
Yep.
He comes out at the end of the match with a grueling match with Finn Balor, a really good match too.
What? Do we want to go into a little rant here for this?
Go for it.
As much as I know for a fact that you were so cranky about this last week, I am pretty much the same. Why would you bring the Demon to go against Baron Corbin, of all people, and then not have it go out against Roman Reigns?
Yeah. Yeah, like you found out at the beginning of the night that you were going to face for the title. You go get the Demon out, right?
Yeah, to me, I'd be like, okay, Finn, rush backstage, do 2 hours of makeup, you've got time, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
It was weird, yeah. Where the hell is the Demon? Like, you're going to use the Demon to beat Baron Corbin, but not to try to get your title back. There's no consistency or logic. But putting that to the side, Braun Strowman comes out, even though he's said that he's going to be honorable about this, causes the distraction, but Roman Reigns manages to overcome and get the victory, right? Which, by the way, the crowd are still cheering.
Yeah.
And at this point, I don't think they're cheering because they're about to see Braun Strowman cash in. I think they're cheering because Roman Reigns beat Finn Balor, even though Finn Balor had the upper hand from the distraction. That's something you cheer. Like, hey, he managed to do it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It was well booked.
It was. I really enjoyed how they actually did that. It was I wouldn't say so much of a clean victory over Finn, but it was.
Oh, it was. It was a clean victory, absolutely. It was a better than clean victory. It was overcoming a dirty victory. Yeah. And then, of course, Braun Strowman comes out, kicks him in the leg as he's getting up, which you said you were going to be honorable about this man, and then he cashes in. The bell never rings because the Shield music hits, and out come Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, and the Shield have reunited, and they triple powerbomb Braun Strowman through the
You
table.
have no idea how excited I am for this. I am...
Right. So I'm on the fence.
See, I am completely for it.
Right. Okay, hit me with it. Tell me why. Tell me why this isn't a step backwards for Seth Rollins. Tell me why this isn't a placeholder for Dean Ambrose.
So, to me, I see this as the slow build towards that triple threat that every single person in the WWE, well, most people in the WWE universe wants at WrestleMania. To me, this is that build. I'm not saying it'll happen at WrestleMania, but yes, we saw it at Roadblock in, I think it was 2016. But they are now, all three, have solidified themselves as world champions. All three have held that title for a number of days. They have proved to each other and to the world that they can go beyond the limits of what they need to. They have so much good chemistry in the ring as a team and as feuding with each other. I am excited to see where this goes because not only am I a fan of a Shield, I'm also a fan of the trio as singles competitors. So this could open so many doors for them.
Right. Well, see, for me, I feel like, okay, yes, building to the triple threat would be cool. Absolutely. But I think you could have done that without reuniting them. I think there's enough simmering tension there, or there was. Although, I then remembered that they reunited previously and then were torn apart by injuries, so it would have been a little strange to not address the fact that they're all back. So I get that, and it makes sense. And I kind of became okay with it throughout the week. At first, I was a little bit like, to me, it seems like this is all to make Roman look strong because we know that the universe cheers Roman when he's in the Shield, right? So let's put him back in the Shield, and then they'll cheer him. And we know that, for me, though, I thought that it was a step backwards for Seth and a step backwards for Dean. Or not necessarily a step backwards for Dean, but a holding step. Like, it's going to put him into a position where it holds him back from what he could do, if that makes sense.
I completely understand that.
Right. And a lot of people were talking about this was a heel turn for the Shield because they attacked a guy 3-on-1. No. They were just protecting their friend's championship that he has worked so hard to get. Right? This was them being friends. What happened here was Braun Strowman turned heel.
Yeah, which people...
Because they're...
So I was just saying, a lot of people that I've been talking to since Monday Night Raw, a lot of people are like, no, the Shield turned bad. Braun was just doing what he said he did. He's told them that he was cashing at the end of the night, and that's what he was doing. But I've been explaining to so many people at the moment that no, Braun Strowman cashed in as a heel character. He cashed in when Roman was weak.
Absolutely. And he said that he wanted to do it like a man. He wanted to do it face to face. And yes, he told Finn Balor beforehand, like, I'm going to cash in on whoever wins, right? And you assume that Roman Reigns saw that. But he didn't wait till the match finished, or he didn't come out before the match like he did at SummerSlam. He walked out while the match was ongoing and forced a distraction, making Roman weak, right? And then he kicked Roman as he was getting up. Now, that is not honorable. And when you've explicitly said you're going to be honorable and then you don't, guess what that makes you? A liar. And guess who lies?
All the heel characters.
Heels. There are 3 ways to be a heel. You lie, you cheat, and you cry.
Oh.
I know you thought I was going to say steal.
I was so let down.
You thought I was going to say steal, but no, that's part of cheating. No, you cry, right? Because no one likes a crybaby either. So those are the 3 surefire ways to be a heel. Lying is right up there. And that's what Braun Strowman did. So Braun Strowman was the guy who went heel here. And now we're going to get... we've got the Shield have reformed to take down Braun Strowman, which makes Braun Strowman look really, really strong. There's a lot of ways this can go. You know who's free at the moment thanks to his partner's injury?
That's Luke Harper, yeah?
Luke Harper. You know who else is free at the moment due to a partner injury?
No, I don't want to see Wyatt family return.
Bray Wyatt. The Wyatt family versus the Shield, bro? Come on. And then the Shield overcome them, and then who's hot on the heels? Who's coming up from NXT? The Undisputed Era versus the Shield.
Okay.
There's some ways this
Yeah,
can
okay.
go.
I can understand the Wyatt family being a sort of fill-in, but that means they'd have to somehow move Luke Harper over to Monday Night Raw.
I think it can be done.
It can be done, and I can see it just randomly one day he just pops up in the middle of the ring. I can see it happening.
You can just have, like, the Wyatts do what they want,
Yeah.
you know? So, I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential, and I've kind of come around, whereas at first when I was watching it, I was like, I don't know. But that's the biggest story this week, is the Shield reuniting.
Pretty much.
It's actually pretty exciting stuff. But anyway, moving on, other stories coming out of Raw, we had... the other big thing to address probably is the Ronda coronation, right? Steph getting in the ring, making it all about her.
yes.
And I'm thinking to myself, Steph's making this all about her. And then Ronda points out, you're making this all about you, which was nice. But then I fully expected when you had all those, you had the Bellas, you had Natty, I fully expected the turn. I was waiting for them all to pounce on Ronda and just make it the entire Raw women's division against Ronda, right? That's how you make Ronda a face.
That's how you need to do it. Because right now, I get that she's over with the fans due to the fact that she's fresh out of UFC. I get that.
Yeah.
And you've just handed her a championship 3 matches in. To me, that actually annoys me.
The rest of the girls should be pissed off about that. Right? Like a veteran, you know, they should be pissed.
They should be.
They should be acting the way Becky's acting.
Yes.
Right?
That's the best way to put it.
And that's the thing. When I say, you know, if you cry, you're a heel, right? You're a crybaby. You're saying it's not fair. Yeah, generally speaking, it's true. But when Becky does it, okay, it's true. If it's true that it's not fair, then we're going to cheer for you, right? Like when Daniel Bryan said it's not fair, but then you have to take action.
Yeah,
that's the other step, is you have to take action. But they should have turned. I don't know. I don't understand. It feels condescending to have this whole, we're all friends and we all want to make history. It's like, no, this is wrestling.
You know what?
You want what she has. You want that title. That's the most important thing in this world.
But I think this is a long-term build, because when's Evolution again? Is that after Survivor Series?
Evolution is after Hell in a Cell, before Survivor Series. It's October 28th. So we've got Hell in a Cell at the end of September. We got our show in Melbourne, the Super Showdown, on October 6th, and then October 28th we have Evolution, and there are rumors that same weekend they're going to have another Saudi Arabia show. So
okay, yeah.
That's rumors. So you'll have a men's show and a women's show. So all those people who were complaining like idiots, being like, when's there going to be a men's only show? Well, it might happen the same weekend.
Which is kind of silly, to be honest. But to me, well, okay, considering I've only just realised that you've just said it, that Survivor Series is after Evolution. To me, I was like, okay, this could be a build. They're all teaming for Survivor Series and have Nikki Bella turn on Ronda as the last 2 women in the face team, and have them lead on into Evolution. But obviously that's not what's going to happen.
No, Evolution comes first. So we also got a lot of water treading. There was a lot of water treading. Riot Squad defeating Boss and Hug Connection and Ember Moon. It was a good match, very good match. It felt like water treading though. Like, where's the story going? Can we please have some development?
Yeah, that was. So I was just going to say that's the same as Authors of Pain and Titus Worldwide.
Yeah, that was my next one. Authors of Pain and Titus Worldwide. They're still going at it, apparently, for some reason. Can we just put this to bed,
I think
please?
they did.
It looks like they're going to move... Yeah, I think it looks like they're going to move into Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil turning on each other, which, I mean, yay! We're going to get them to feud for 3 months, having 18 million matches, and then disappear and no one will hear from either of them again. That sounds like a better idea than having a good jobber tag team on your completely lackluster tag team roster on Raw.
I'm calling it, they'll face each other at the pre-show of some sort of show.
Oh yeah, it'll be a pre-show. It'll be a pre-show match, and it'll be at the next pre-show as well, and it'll be 4 times on Raw between now and then. It's a joke. Probably the highlight from the undercard. I mean, we got the Revival getting some wins back over the B team, which you would think I'd be happy about, but I'm not.
Okay, we touched on this.
How are you gonna have? Yeah.
So I was going to say, we touched on this in the middle of the week, and you explained that you weren't happy with your favorite team going over. Please explain.
Okay, no, so, yeah, I wasn't happy that they lost at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm even less happy now, because you want to show that they're better wrestlers, but they're an inferior tag team? So individually, they can get the job done against individuals on the B team, but these 2 men who have been tagging together their entire WWE careers are not a better tag team than the B team. Because when it comes down to it, in the tag team match, they lose, and in the singles match, they get their win back. I don't want them to get their win back in a singles match. They are the better tag team. It's stupid.
I think what it is the fact that they're going to be able to say, "Oh, B team got lucky." That's what it is.
Well, they did, yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I know, and I know it's part of the story, but it's just a stupid story that I'm not a fan of personally. So I get where they're going, and it looks like it's going to end up good for my boys. But
can I just point this out real quick? How cool would it be if we see Dash and Dawson take those tag team titles at Melbourne?
Yes, please.
But that's all I want now.
Yes, please. I guess, yeah. That would kind of make up for it. If I get to see it live and in person, then that'd be really, really nice. All right. I'll give it... Okay, tread water for now, boys.
Yep.
Go ahead. Tread some water so I can see you get the gold myself. All right. And then the other highlight from the undercard for me was Elias and Kurt Hawkins. Kurt Hawkins' losing streak is a thing of beauty. Elias, everything about Elias is amazing. I can't wait for his concert at Super Showdown because we know he's coming down. He has a tag match with Kevin Owens against Bobby Lashley and John Cena. So he's going to perform a concert and it's going to be glorious.
Oh, I'm so excited. I don't know if many of the listeners are out there that actually know how bad an Aussie can roast someone. I want to see how bad someone can roast us.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait. I mean, I think he's going to get the classic line of the night. Every time WWE come down, someone has it where, they play off the word wanker, like, because Americans don't use that word. So I think he will play off the word wanker, I assume. But it's going to be fun. We shouldn't talk about it. We're going to talk about this a lot later. But yeah, it was a highlight of Raw for me watching Kurt Hawkins lose to Elias. It was very fun. Other than that, nothing really stands out from Raw. I think we should move on to SmackDown.
I just want to point out one highlight of the night for me during Triple H's promo. That was really, really good. They actually touched on Melbourne on the main show. Like, I would not have expected in a million years that there would be an actual build to this pay-per-view. I didn't expect it.
That's been the question is, are we getting a Beast in the East where it's just nothing because it's on at 3 a.m. in America? Or are we getting a Greatest Royal Rumble where they're actually going to hype it? It looks like we're getting a Greatest Royal Rumble.
I think so.
So it's pretty exciting. We're going to get at least some kinds of stories. We don't know if they're going to be main focal points, but it's going to be exciting nonetheless. Moving on to SmackDown, though. SmackDown was really good this week. We got new tag team champions. Five-time New Day.
I
saw that coming.
that. Yep.
Yeah,
I was waiting. One of us are going to do it eventually.
Well, no, I mean, I saw the win coming because Rowan got injured. What a hero, by the way, working that entire match.
Yeah,
with
that's
an injured
exactly
arm
right.
That needs surgery.
Yeah, I think that's put his standpoint on my hierarchy to a lot of a higher rank. Not many people actually work injured, and he's one of them who was kind of like, no, I need surgery, but this match is more important.
Yeah, I have a job to do. His stock rose 1,000,000% for sure.
Yes, guaranteed. And for him to still have that brutality and throw out those clotheslines and stuff that he was doing, still with that injured shoulder, man, that was impressive.
It's not the shoulder, it's the bicep. So that's even more impressive because you're actually connecting with that part of the arm when you get a clothesline. So, yeah, it was definitely... And the match itself was fantastic. It was chaotic. It was all over the place. New Day getting the win after putting Harper through the table. And yeah, I loved everything about it. I thought it was great. We also got some more treading water from Rusev, Lana, Andrade Cien Almas, and Zelina Vega.
Oh, why the freaking duck monkey was that on SmackDown?
Yeah, it's the rematch thing, right? Like, you just had a match at the show. If you know what, if these pre-show matches are just going to become rematches on SmackDown, why not just put them on SmackDown and fuck off the pre-show so we get another 2 hours in our day?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is what it is.
Yep. Let's top that travesty off with the fact that Big E was just casually eating Chinese during the New Day promo.
No, it was ribs, because they asked him how his ribs were.
Well, the packets are Chinese.
I very much enjoyed that. Yeah, he said he prefers them smoked, and I agree. Smoked ribs are the best ribs.
Yep.
Peyton Royce got a win over Naomi. You got to think that's they're coming to Australia, so they need the Aussies to look strong. I think
that's pretty much what they're doing. I think
it doesn't seem like it's necessarily going anywhere other than we're going to let them get a couple of wins because we want them to look strong going home. And I'm, you know what, I'm okay with that. Panda, baby, panda to me.
That's exactly right.
My girls get
what
wins
we want.
on TV. And look, they're two of the best. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay are two of the best that they have. So. Yeah, and yeah, okay, we're biased, okay? Apparently a lot of Americans don't understand them. Like, legitimately hate that they should go away.
I actually will admit, though, as Aussies, we don't hear the Australian accent, right? But the moment those two talk on TV, I hear it so much.
Billie Kay has always had a thick accent. She's always been like the most Australian-sounding person in any room of Australians.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, and I think Peyton's putting it on because they're playing it up, and they're doing a fantastic job. I really enjoy it.
Yeah,
they played a guessing game this time on the way to the ring.
Yes.
What was the question? It was something about what glows and
what has really annoying flashing lights and as dull as something. I can't remember exactly how they said it, but it was something along the lines of what has flashing lights and as dull as something.
Yeah, and then Peyton was like, New York City.
I was like,
talk about how it's overrated. Stuff.
That's right. It was overrated with flashing lights.
Yeah, and it's the answer, of course, was Naomi, but
the first guess of New York.
Yeah, it was. They're so good. They're such good heels. I love them so much.
Yes.
And then I guess Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy. That was actually surprisingly good. I mean, it's a little bit like, okay, I don't particularly care too much about either of these guys, and Randy Orton's kind of starting to lose me a little. Yeah. But the bit with Jeff Hardy, going wild, taking him up the ramp, putting him off the table and hitting that swanton bomb off the production crates was really fun.
Yeah, I really like how we're going to see that side of Jeff again, but can we please have Jeff Hardy be obsolete and be deleted and have Brother Nero appear on TV?
Yeah, I thought he was working hurt and needed to take time off.
See, so did I. Potentially, that could be leading to Hell in a Cell where Randy does take him out for good.
I don't know. I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm giving it a little bit of room.
Yeah.
And of course, we got some more AJ Joe stuff. So AJ's getting an interview with Renee Young, and Joe jumps in from behind and looks into the camera and does some more daddy stuff.
Yeah, I think by the end of it, the crowd's just going to be chanting daddy at him.
Look, AJ and Joe have... this feud has the potential to be one of the greats,
Oh, guaranteed. It's going to be the next John Cena edge for what I see. Like, it is that monster heel versus the top babyface of the company right now. Well, not the top, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, it's... I want to see AJ get by with the title for a long time, but I really think it's Joe's time. I do. And he looks so strong right now, and it'd be weird to not see him get it,
Yeah.
I guess we also got some setup for the bar and the club next week, which made me really happy because tag team division in SmackDown is strong, and I love tag team wrestling. So
I've got to say, the Good Brothers were on fire with their promo. I love
they were
it.
imitating old timey announcers.
Yes.
Those two dudes are so creative and
They are.
just fun.
They need to have more creative control for their character because I reckon they just kill it every single week.
Yeah, someone commented on one of our Facebook threads earlier this week about, if you just gave them beer and creative control over a network show, it would be absolute gold.
Yes.
Let them have like a half-hour show on the network each week that's like being the Elite is for the Young Bucks on YouTube. Just let them do like a 10 to 20 minute half-hour show, something like that. And
you know what?
Where they just get to go wild, and it would be amazing.
That could be WWE's answer to being the Elite, and it could be something along the lines of like being the club or something. And they could have AJ as a constant thing. They could have Finn as a constant thing.
Yeah.
That could be their response to being the Elite.
Man. I actually really, really want this now. I never even I liked the comment, but I didn't think too deeply into like what it could be. But they did, of course, Southpaw Regional Wrestling. Have you watched that on the network?
Oh, I've watched bits of it, yes.
Sex Ferguson, and it's just fantastic. I love, and even now, like when they're on Smackdown, cutting their promos, and there's like Abs Anderson, pow, look at him.
I love that. This is so good. I love how they brought something from social media onto live TV. I was like, thank you.
Oh well, they do that all the time, like with his hot Asian wife. With it's kind of their bag. They're the Good Brothers. It's what they do. I love it. I love it so much. And then the last thing to talk about: Daniel Bryan and The Miz. They opened the show. I wish they closed the show. But
actually, I really liked how Miz opened the show. He was the big heel going over with the victory. They did.
That's true.
I really, really like how they opened the show with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, opening the show with the heat, it makes sense. And they pulled the trigger right away. I thought we'd get a little bit of build on this one. Like I said, I wanted them to leave this match off Hell in a Cell. I wanted, maybe have some kind of segment booked for Hell in a Cell. It's been a long time since we've done that. Had a pay-per-view where, look, we're going to have a segment with these guys where they're going to sit down and hash it out, like maybe even a contract signing for the women and for the Evolution match. Like have Maurice versus Bree set for Evolution and have the contract signing being set for Hell in a Cell. And Miz and Daniel Bryan are so concerned with helping their respective wives get ready that they don't have time to face each other. That makes the women's match feel more important. Something like that. I don't know what, but somehow keep them off Hell in a Cell and build towards Evolution with a one-on-one with the girls, and then you can elongate the feud in the hopes of getting it to WrestleMania.
Well, I have a feeling that we are getting it to WrestleMania because just in case people haven't seen the news from the B+ at the moment, WWE Super Showdown has actually officially announced that Daniel Bryan will face The Miz again one-on-one for a shot at the WWE Championship.
Yeah, so the winner will get a shot at the championship. So hopefully we're going to see Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles at whatever comes after Super Showdown. So it wouldn't be Survivor Series because I imagine they would be involved in 5-on-5, but the one after Survivor Series, I assume, hopefully we're going to see AJ versus Daniel Bryan. And then maybe Miz wins the Royal Rumble. I think it would work better, actually, if Miz wins the title from AJ, and then...
I would much rather prefer to have Daniel Bryan go over AJ. I think that's what we need to do.
Narratively, stay with me here. Narratively, you have The Miz beat Daniel Bryan again in Melbourne.
Yep.
Then he gets his title shot against AJ, and he wins. The heel champion wins. I'm going to call it clean-ish, right? Have him win clean-ish at what we're talking December pay-per-view now. Then he does the rematch at Royal Rumble.
Yep.
And he wins the rematch as well. And Daniel Bryan wins the Royal Rumble match. And of course, Daniel Bryan is saying he wants a shot at the title because he still hasn't gotten his win over The Miz. And The Miz is like, I've beaten you twice. There's no way you're getting a match. Daniel Bryan comes out at number 1 in the Royal Rumble. Everyone wants him to win it.
Yes,
you're never going to get someone behind a Royal Rumble win. And we've always wanted Bryan to win the Rumble. And then you get Bryan versus Miz at WrestleMania.
Yeah, see, it's a really good way to do it. Like, I can see having... I think December is TLC. So you could have a Miz versus AJ shot at TLC in a TLC match. That would be fantastic. Those guys would kill it.
Yeah.
And then have, from there, as you said, have the build. Daniel Bryan winning the Rumble and having that build all the way through.
I just thought that I thought that I'd like to see AJ versus Daniel Bryan, but I guess we'll get there eventually too. It definitely looks like at this point Daniel Bryan's going to re-sign, which means, there go all my indie dreams. But listen to the stories we're laying out. We're getting Miz and Daniel Bryan extended to WrestleMania. That's what we've wanted for years at this point. And then you're going to probably get a feud with Shinsuke Nakamura and Daniel Bryan, and that one's going to be brutal. Then you can probably get Daniel Bryan and AJ, Daniel Bryan and Joe. And that's just...
can we have Joe? Please, let's just have Joe.
That just assumes he's staying on SmackDown, I mean,
yeah.
Who knows where it can go? It's very exciting, to be honest with you.
Sorry, I just want to dream book real quick. Adam Cole versus Daniel Bryan.
You didn't... Come on, man. Let's do that again. Do that. You missed a very important part of his name.
Oh, sorry. Can we have Adam Cole, baby, versus Daniel Bryan?
Adam Cole, baby. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I want to see Roderick Strong versus Daniel Bryan. I want to see Johnny Gargano versus Daniel Bryan.
Can we just have NXT versus Daniel Bryan?
A gauntlet match like they do in Japan when people retire.
Yes, and the third or fourth entrant is Shayna Baszler.
Oh, man. Shayna... Okay, look, you joke, but I like Intergender Wrestling. And Shayna Baszler and Daniel Bryan could actually put on a phenomenal match.
That's exactly right. That's what I would say. I reckon even those two as a team for just for a random match for some reason, that would work well. But that's too much dream booking right there.
My big dream was for him to go back to New Japan and hopefully have a match with Zack Sabre Jr. I want to see Daniel Bryan and Zack Sabre Jr. But you know what? I'll settle for Daniel Bryan and Pete Dunne.
We'll just settle for Daniel Bryan and Pete Dunne.
It wouldn't really be settling, would it? It would be an amazing match. Because Daniel Bryan's a guy that does the limb manipulation stuff that I love really well as well. So anyway, that was SmackDown. I think overall it was a really good week, which of course is exemplified by the fact that the ratings this week were up.
Which is always good.
Raw experienced a high rating and SmackDown experienced the highest rating it's had since April.
Wow.
So you get casual viewers tune in at WrestleMania. You get casual viewers tune in at SummerSlam. This time around, the casual viewers liked what they saw.
Yep, and they stuck around.
And that's a good thing. So hopefully it stays for another couple of weeks too. Hopefully it stays moving forward because the wrestling is at the best it's been in a long time in terms of the wrestling. We just need WWE to get on top of their stories. This treading water shit has to go.
Yeah.
The repeating matches has to go. But if you took that stuff out, if you took the fluff out, you had really good shows.
No, that's exactly right.
So that's the view from the WWE Universe this week. CJ, where can people find you?
Guys, you can find me on Facebook at CJ's World or at Instagram at CJ's_World. Go like, share, and subscribe.
I am at GregUnchained on Twitter, at the GregUnchained on Instagram, at the B+Wrestle on Twitter because wrestling just wouldn't fit. Everywhere else it fits though, so Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, etc., etc. We're everywhere. We're taking over the world. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes if you have the time. It only takes a couple seconds and it really, really, really helps us out. We would appreciate it. Thank you so much for listening.
Hold one! Arm drag!
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list!
So, no speak English.
Dummy! Goodbye and good night! Hold two! Arm bar!
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
It's still real to me, damn it! Dummy! Hold three! The moss-covered, three-handle family redundle! Mamma mia! It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin! Number 4, armbar!